They said he was too small, too arrogant, too confident for a division filled with killers. Then he stood across from one of the most feared champions in the world, looked him straight in the eyes, and promised exactly how the fight would end. People laughed. Minutes later, they weren't laughing anymore, because he had just done the impossible, and the UFC would never be the same again. Ilia Topuria. Guess the fighter from his childhood. The correct answer will be at the end of the video. Long before sold-out arenas screamed his name, before world titles and headlines, Ilia Topuria was just a kid whose family kept moving in search of a better life. He was born in Germany to Georgian parents before eventually settling in Spain. It wasn't the glamorous beginning people imagine when they think of future champions. There were no cameras, no famous coaches waiting to discover him, just uncertainty, just adaptation, and a young boy trying to find where he belonged. That search eventually led him onto the mats. Wrestling became part of his life. Then came Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What started as training slowly transformed into obsession. While other kids dreamed of becoming celebrities, Ilia dreamed of domination. Even then, he wasn't interested in surviving. He wanted to be the best. People around him noticed something unusual. He didn't train like someone hoping to win. He trained like someone who already believed he couldn't lose. At first, that confidence inspired people. Later, it would make entire arenas root against him. But before the fame and criticism, there was sacrifice. Money wasn't endless. Opportunities were limited. Spain wasn't exactly producing UFC superstars at the time. There was no guaranteed path, only risk, and Ilia embraced it. He sharpened every weapon he had. His grappling became suffocating. His boxing became dangerous. And his mindset, borderline terrifying. He truly believed nobody on earth could beat him. Most fighters say things like that for promotion. Ilia seemed to actually mean it. As he entered professional MMA, opponents discovered the difference. He wasn't just winning. He was finishing. Submission after submission. Knockout after knockout. He attacked with urgency, as if every second mattered. The undefeated record started growing. People began paying attention. But skepticism followed him everywhere. He's fighting nobodies. Wait until he faces real competition. We've seen hype trains before. The criticism didn't bother him. If anything, it fueled him. Eventually, the UFC came calling. For many fighters, reaching the UFC is a dream. For Ilia Topuria, it was only the beginning. He debuted under enormous pressure. One mistake could expose him. One loss could destroy years of momentum. Instead, he looked completely comfortable. He fought with the same aggression, the same confidence, the same refusal to back up. Fans started noticing this fearless newcomer from Spain with Georgian roots. But others couldn't stand him, because Ilia didn't sound humble. He predicted victories. He dismissed opponents. He spoke like a champion before earning the belt. In a sport built on confidence, somehow his confidence felt different, almost offensive. And yet, he kept proving himself right. As the competition improved, so did Topuria. He submitted veterans. He outclassed dangerous contenders. He marched forward with absolute conviction. Then came one of the biggest tests of his career, Bryce Mitchell. Mitchell entered the fight undefeated inside the UFC. He had a loyal fan base, elite grappling, and many believe he possessed exactly the style needed to derail Topuria's rise. For the first time, people wonder whether Ilia's confidence had finally exceeded reality. The fight answered that question. Topuria overwhelmed him. He pressured him relentlessly, and eventually locked in a brutal submission that forced Mitchell to tap. It wasn't just another win. It was a statement. The hype was becoming real. But the higher you climb in the UFC, the more dangerous the fall becomes. Next came Josh Emmett, a devastating puncher known for carrying knockout power into every exchange. One mistake against Emmett could erase consciousness. Many expected chaos. Instead, they witnessed something unexpected. Topuria delivered the performance of his life. He mixed striking with intelligence. He displayed patience, control, Discipline. He dominated round after round against one of the division's most dangerous men. It wasn't merely exciting. It was mature. Suddenly, doubters ran out of excuses. He wasn't just powerful. He wasn't just confident. He was evolving. And evolution creates champions. The featherweight division had long belonged to legends, names that defined generations. Among them stood Alexander Volkanovski, a man many considered one of the greatest featherweights of all time. Volkanovski had defeated elite contenders, destroyed winning streaks, conquered nearly everyone placed in front of him. Experience favored the champion. The world favored the champion. Logic favored the champion. Ilia Topuria didn't care. He promised he would knock Volkanovski out. People rolled their eyes. There he goes again. More predictions. More arrogance. More impossible promises. But confidence becomes terrifying when it's backed by preparation. Fight night arrived. The atmosphere felt electric. Volkanovski stood across from the undefeated challenger. One man protecting his legacy. The other trying to seize immortality. The opening moments were tense. Every movement mattered. Every punch carried consequences. Then everything changed. Topuria found his opening and exploded. The champion crashed to the canvas. The arena erupted. Millions watching around the world froze in disbelief. Ilia Topuria had done exactly what he promised. He knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, just like he said he would. Years of sacrifice, years of criticism, years of being called delusional, all erased in a single moment. He became UFC featherweight champion. But greatness comes with a price. Success magnifies everything. Admiration, pressure, expectations, and hate. The new champion embraced all of it. He remained unapologetically himself. He still predicted outcomes, still believed nobody could beat him, still carried himself like the most dangerous man in the room. Some fans loved him for it. Others desperately wanted to see him humbled, because in combat sports, confidence walks a thin line. One side calls it self-belief. The other calls it arrogance. Only results decide which one history remembers. And so far, history had been very kind to Ilia Topuria. His story was never about being underestimated. It was about refusing to see limits that everyone else accepted. He moved countries, built himself far from traditional MMA powerhouses, faced endless criticism, entered the UFC undefeated, carried impossible expectations, and defeated legends who supposedly had all the answers. The boy searching for belonging had transformed into one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts. Yet perhaps the most dangerous part of Ilia Topuria isn't his power, or his grappling, or even his confidence. It's that deep down, he genuinely believes his story is only beginning. Every champion eventually faces a question. Was the title the destination, or merely another step? For Ilia Topuria, the answer seems obvious. He isn't chasing respect anymore. He isn't trying to silence doubters. He isn't fighting for validation. He is fighting for legacy, to become unforgettable, to build a name mentioned alongside the greatest fighters who ever lived. Whether you admire his confidence or despise it, whether you celebrate his victories or wait for his downfall, one truth remains impossible to deny. Ilia Topuria never asked the world for permission to become great. He simply decided he would be. And then he went out and proved it. The terrifying part? He may not be finished yet. The correct answer is Conor McGregor.